Welcome a former presidential candidate in his own right, Congressman Dennis Kucinich of Ohio. Congressman Kucinich, welcome to Boston's 96.9.
Hello, Boston and New Hampshire. It's good to talk to you.
Yeah, and you are speaking to New Hampshire, which is a key state, obviously, as it remains on the cusp here. So let me ask you, for people who, because we only have a few minutes of your time, I really appreciate it. For people in New Hampshire who are undecided, why should they give President Obama another 4 years?
Look, he has been handled a mess, and he's trying to get America towards putting us back to work, towards bringing our troops home. The pace isn't fast enough, but we need to understand that this isn't a job that could have been done in 4 years anyway, by anybody.
Yet people point to other bad times. You remember the 1970s, things not so great, particularly there in Ohio. High interest rates, 21% interest rates, 18% inflation, high unemployment, people going the wrong direction. And we had a recovery there that at this point, we were having 7% growth. Now we have 1.7% growth. But what do you say to people who say it shows it didn't work?
Now let me tell you what's different.
Okay.
What's different is the subprime meltdown. What's different is that Wall Street went out and gamed the system and stuck the American taxpayer with the bill. What's different is the casino economy that we have right now. What's different is the globalization of capital. And all these things were a new situation for an American president. Now, would I have done it differently? Yeah, but that's not the point. Barack Obama has done the best that he could with the situation at hand. Look, I voted against the bailout. You know, I understand New Hampshire's the underpinning of its motto of live free or die. I don't like the government picking winners and losers with banks. But I also know this, that we have seen an economy just struggling along, trying to get going. The president tried to stimulate it somewhat. He couldn't get enough votes in Congress for something bigger. I would have advocated that he go over the heads of Congress to the American people and say, "Help me rebuild America. Let's create millions of jobs."
And the argument that for a lot of people, and by the way, we're speaking to Congressman Dennis Kucinich of Ohio. We really appreciate your time. The argument for a lot of people is, you hire a plumber who says, "Here's what I'm going to do. I'm laying out what's going to happen." 4 years later, it didn't happen. The toilets are still full of crap. Don't you just fire the plumber?
Well, you know what? If the guy who preceded him left a bunch of monkey wrenches and everything, you got to take that into account. So, I mean...
But remember, it wasn't George Bush who said the stimulus would keep unemployment below 8%. It wasn't George Bush who promised the stimulus would be creating jobs. He didn't promise us that Obamacare would create 400,000 jobs immediately. That's all from the White House.
Let's talk. Let's talk about the influence of Wall Street and the Federal Reserve in what's happening. The Federal Reserve has not done its job in encouraging employment. They created money out of nothing, gave it to banks, who then parked it at the Federal Reserve instead of helping small businesses and to create jobs. Look, this president has not had the cooperation. Wall Street helped him get elected, but Wall Street sure hasn't helped him win political favors, because what do? They cheat people, they lie, they steal, they accelerate wealth to the top. I'm sorry. I'm a Democrat who will lay it on the line. I haven't agreed with President Obama on some of his economic policies, but you got to look at the forces that have been arrayed against him, and they've been formidable. Maybe I'd handle him in a different way, but he's the president of the United States, and he's trying to do the best he can.
Well, that's an interesting take, because I know for a fact that Wall Street didn't take anybody's money in the bailout. It was given to them by elected officials, because Wall Street doesn't have the ability to take the money. They're private citizens.
Don't give me the money. Oh my God, don't give me those billions of dollars. Look.
No, I didn't say they didn't take it. I would take it too if you were dumb enough to. I'm like, our buddy Kurt Schilling, the baseball player, got a $1 million handout from the Democrats down in Rhode Island, and everyone was mad because he was a small government guy, but he took the bailout. And his answer was, of course I take it.
That's still small business in the scheme of Wall Street. Look, let's face it. The banks right now are accelerating the wealth of America upwards. They're not true patriots. The dollar bill is the flag that they worship. Its color is green. My flag is red, white, and blue. We need to have the ability for government to take a little bit more power here. Right now, the Federal Reserve's calling the shots, and the government doesn't really have the ability to do some of the things that the president needs to do. Well, you know what? There can be some changes in the future. I hope that the president is assessing the concerns of the American people over the economy, the concerns of people in New Hampshire as well as Massachusetts, and I hope when people think about it, they'll say, okay, we'll give you another 4 years, but you got to deliver.
I understand you got to go. Thanks for your time, Congressman, and say hello to your wife, who has millions of fans on both sides of the aisle.
I know. If she was running, no one had a chance. Thanks again.
That's Congressman Dennis Kucinich of Ohio.